Hi everybody, Fintan here from Damson. So this week I'm actually at the Happeo Summit over in Amsterdam. Last year it was in Helsinki, but it was nice to have a different location this year. And I'm here with Meredith, who runs the North American sales team and has a lot of knowledge about Happeo, the product. As you know, a couple of weeks ago we did a quick demo of Happeo, and we've been talking about Google Sites and other sort of digital workspaces. I kind of wanted to start with maybe a quick introduction to yourself, and then a little bit about what you feel is the major differentiator with Happeo compared to, say, some other solutions in the workspace.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So as Fintan said, I lead our North American sales team here at Happeo. What I like to do that's a little bit different, probably than most sales reps, is I like to truly challenge my customers to think outside the box. I think when a lot of customers come to us, they're looking for an intranet. They're looking for the way that things have been traditionally done. And I really like to challenge them to think outside of that.
Yeah.
What does that ultimately look like? Why are you implementing a solution like this? What value and benefits does it bring to the organization? So I think when comms is looking for a tool like this, what I think is really important is to understand, well, why? What impact does it bring to the organization and to your employees to have a tool like that? So that's something that's really key. And then when it comes to Happeo, there's a lot of really big differences in what we do.
Yeah, it's like, where do we start?
Yeah, I know. But some of the ones that really stand out to me, specifically the ones that I discuss with my clients, is obviously we do things a little bit differently because we are a unified platform for all things comms and all things people, right? So, like our company name, Happeo, we want to make employees happier at work. You spend a lot of time doing work. Unfortunately, a lot of time off hours doing work.
Yeah. More and more now with mobile.
And you spend more time with the people you work with than probably your spouses and your family.
Definitely.
So sad, but it's true. And so I think it's important that when you choose a place to work, you choose an employer, you choose a family, ultimately. And Happeo, with an extension of our partners and our customers, we are a family, and we try to expand on that with our customers. And we want them to develop a culture that aligns with what their family, their business means. And it's important to have a place where you can facilitate that. When it comes to key differentiators, there's a couple things that really stand out. Obviously, our G Suite integration with Google is top of the line, and there's a lot of different ways that we do that, as you know, but it's really key in ensuring that employees are, number one, engaged, but also super efficient and productive. Because ultimately we're here to work, we're here to be efficient and do what we do and make the most out of the salary that we're making per year. So that's really important. And then one other thing that always comes to mind, but it's probably a bit about my background, I really like to talk about security. When we talk about large organizations and their data and their employees, ultimately comes back, I'm bringing it back around to this family. You want to keep your family safe. You also want to keep your data and your information, your proprietary information, safe.
And particularly with internal communication. I mean, that's where the most,
internal.
That's literally in the name. That's where the most secure stuff's going to be,
Absolutely, and if it was meant to be external, it would have been. So it's our job to ensure that as a partner of our clients, we need to ensure that their data is safe and is secure. And we've been able to do that through a number of different policies, but we've recently acquired ISO certification. So that's been really instrumental in ensuring that our clients feel safe using our platform and know that it's critical that they have those security procedures in place.
There was one piece that you kind of mentioned there about the integrations with G Suite, and it was something that you hit home. We had the partner day yesterday. The customer challenge thing, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I think that was really good, and I'm gonna get better at that for sure. I learned a lot definitely in your talk yesterday. But one of the things you mentioned in the demo piece we were talking about was search. I actually thought you were going to say search. You said security there because
it's another one.
Yeah, it's another. And there's so many.
I
know there's so many. But the search piece, I think, was like it is one that I mentioned. Do you know what I mean? I actually checked my demo for Happeo for last week. I did mention search because I was nervous after we spoke about it. I was like, did I mention search? I must have. But you just spoke about that, about how having that that single place to search for things. And if Happeo becomes the center of where the employees within your customers and our customers go to find the information that they need, then a single search, for not just Happeo but also all of the G Suite products, which is obviously where the rest of the information is going to be held. It just makes a huge amount of sense.
It's critical. I mean, search is one of those things that it's crazy. Almost, I don't want to say all, but almost every prospect that I speak to every single day do not have a global search. Yeah. And it's a shame.
Global search, that was the word you used.
Well, that's the thing is, like, people have search in Slack, they have search in Drive, they have search in email, they have search in their calendar, they have search in all these siloed, disparate business applications, which is like, cool, that's great, but ultimately what does that do for me if I'm looking for something that was shared, in some calendar invite? My initial instinct is not to go there. I have to look through Drive, I have to ask the one on Slack, I'm going to search all these at different places, and to have a single point of search that's smart and is going to have a built-in algorithm to find the information that I'm looking for in that same single space that you're also collaborating in and being productive in throughout the day, that you're launching all of your other business applications from, that you're finding everything in and you're communicating in. So really having a unified digital platform for everything that you do in your workday.
Makes sense.
It just makes sense, ultimately, right?
And I think we come across this in our personal lives. Like, I mean, I certainly have when I think of some message from a friend and I'm like, oh yeah, it's a text message. And I go into text message, I'm like, why is it not there?
Where was that?
Oh, maybe it was WhatsApp or Facebook or... and then I can't find it, and I'm like, God, it'd be great to have some unified search for my life. That's what I need for personal. It actually comes back to that challenging piece that you're talking about of like challenging the customer to say, what is it you're actually trying to solve? Do you know what I mean? Maybe our application solves it, but maybe it doesn't, and I need to dig into that first before I just go to like, you said that when you're talking to us in the demo workshop yesterday. Don't just jump into the demo, to any old demo. Find out what are the 2 or 3 or 4 areas that this particular customer has a challenge with, and how you solve that.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and I think it kind of takes me back to why I wanted to do sales to begin with. I was kind of a little bit shy from that at the beginning, but ultimately, I'm not in the business of selling a product. Maybe that's what my manager thinks I do, but that's not what I do. I want to help people solve their problems and their challenges in a day-to-day life, and
that's the consultative selling model. That so many.
And that's what I believe in, right? Is like I am absolutely just trying to help them sleep better at night. If you can go home at the end of the day and work more efficiently and not have to take that home with you so that you can enjoy your friends and your family, that's my goal. And I think, the other thing that we really focus on at Happeo is anticipating these pains and also being proactive about what does technology and communication look like down the line? Where will this be going?
And that's the research piece.
Totally. And I think, we could, of course, just be reactive to what people, what challenges they're having.
And you need to do that to a certain extent. Your customers, comes up and says, we've got this challenge,
How do we fix it? Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's work together. Let's put our brains together.
But it's a mix.
But it's definitely a mix. And I think I always like to discuss with my customers, of course, you're looking for a comms platform, but ultimately, why? What value is that going to bring to your organization? So,
what is it you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. And even with like features and functionality, I mean, I've had clients that have come to me and said, hey, our users want to see this. Well, why? What value is that bringing to their day to day? That's really key. And understanding things like, what's your growth rate? What's your employee retention rate? How are you doing training and onboarding? How efficient is that? Are you measuring that? Are analytics important to you? How many hours a week are they taking to search for content? Are they able to collaborate and reach directly colleagues in other offices or around the world? So all of those things are areas in which I challenge my customers to think outside the box. And I think it's really important for us, Happeo, but also myself, I'm trying to do my small part in it, is challenging my customers to think about a grander scale, right? And really opening that door in your mind a bit to what could come.
I think that those type of discussions, it creates a space for those type of discussions, which I think with consultative selling is important. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that I think with when I'm discussing with, maybe new salespeople or people in our industry that, G Suite and cloud, it's not a transactional sale. Do you know what I mean? It's not, you're not buying a Mars burner shop and you're never going to see them again. It's a relationship that you're building over time, because it's the recurring revenue model, which is great, but that also means that if you miss-sell a customer, if you don't put the effort into finding out what is it, what are the specific challenges that they're trying to solve, and in 6 months or a year's time your product doesn't solve it, then they're not going to renew and they're not going to be happy. You're going to have misadvised them. So.
Well, and I always like to think from my customer's perspective, and also to ask them, really dive into, and sometimes my customers kind of give me this look of like, why are you asking me these questions? But I ask these questions, such as, what are your 6 month goals? But what are your 5-year goals? Like, what do you want your organization to look like? What do you think, we're just throwing things out here, potentially what your growth rate will look like? What do you anticipate your organization will look like? How many new offices do you think you might have?
How many employees?
Yeah, and the other thing too is it's important when choosing any technology provider, partner, software, whatever to work with. I always think it's critical that you look at your existing technology environment, but you also think about the future. And I think it's important to partner with organizations and companies that fit that vision. So you need to think about, well, okay, if we were to move to this system, or if we were to replace these systems, how would this product be affected? And does it fit into our short and our long-term roadmap as a company objectives?
And it's interesting, I had this conversation with Mike and Jonathan during the week when we were having a chat, and Mike was sort of talking about how, he sees a convergence of a lot of the technologies within IC over the next sort of 3, 5, 10 years. We were thinking into the future. And that the sort of feature set, becomes fairly similar. And we've already seen this in the Microsoft Google space. We've seen that the solutions are very close. People will argue Microsoft's better at X, Google's better at Y.
Well, one improves with it, and then
the other catches up.
And one's better at something else, and the other one catches up. And
exactly.
Everyone's just playing
back and forth. So then it becomes back to what you're saying of, why are you buying into an organization? You're buying into their vision for not now, but the future and the culture of that organization. So, for our customers who've chosen Happeo, it's about the product, but it's also about the company. It's also about Happeo. They're also buying into how you guys have treated them, and the engagement and how that was, and the culture of Happeo and events like this. Like you said, the family piece, like how you guys treat your customers is actually very different to a lot of companies. Do you know what I mean? Having events like this that are so customer focused.
It's something that really, I hate to be sentimental, but really warms my heart, because we were actually in the last few weeks looking back at the videos from last year's summit in Helsinki.
Excellent videos.
Yes, they're good stuff. But I think what I really loved about them is we were listening to these back, and people were discussing the reasons that they chose to work with Happeo. And I think the product speaks for itself, and different aspects of what we do. But ultimately, everyone was saying, we choose to work with this organization. And that's something that I am really proud to be a part of. I'm proud to be a part of this culture that's not only internal, but we can expand external to our partners and to our clients and to everyone that we come into contact with.
And it's the differentiator. Do you know what I mean? And like when everything becomes homogenous and very similar and feature for feature and whatever, that's the differentiator, is like, who am I going to get behind? You know what I mean? People buy from people, all that kind of stuff. But it's the culture, that you guys push.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that we have a fantastic culture internally, but I think with events like this, where we get to actually speak, but also like to hear from our customers that does ring true as well externally, and they also have the same perception of our culture. And I'm proud that it is communicated properly externally as well, and that people feel that
they
connection.
Feel the love.
They feel the love.
They do. No, I mean, it was really obvious today with the customer speakers. Do you know what I mean? All the people who spoke, it was that same thread running through it of why they'd chosen Happeo and why they were kind of getting behind the products. So.